Okay, I'm going to do a quick little garden tour update. As you can see, I'm beginning to get some tomatoes, lots of tomatoes, and these are the new big dwarf, and these are the Livingston stone dwarfs, and they're not doing as good as they did when I grew them indoors, but they're doing pretty good. There's my collards that are going to seed. They're drying out, so it's about time to harvest them. And these are all big boys. Those are a little bit younger. This one is really growing well. As you see, it's getting tomatoes on it. And that's my long straw bale. And here is my Cabernet peppers growing in a container. I never did put anything in this one. This is a purple bell pepper. I pruned the top of it off to see if it would bush out more, but it's like it slowed it down more than anything. Some more big boys. That's a big boy, and that is a indigo rose, pretty small at this point. These are my purple velour dwarf green beans. I've been getting a lot of beans off of it. Here's one I haven't harvested. As you can see, it's really loaded with beans. I'm letting these go to seed so I can harvest my squash plants. I took the screen off of it so they could get pollinated, because I was only getting a few squash because most of them were rotting because they weren't getting pollinated. So I risked the squash borers at this point and just let it bloom and produce as many as possible. I've gotten a few off of it, but most of them have died. More green beans. I took my spinach out of here because it was going to seed, and I put in sweet bananas. That's Salanova. Flying saucer red, which is about to go to seed. Those are romaine. Those are banana peppers that I replaced some spinach over here. These are Azora Neves red, and these are really, really big tomatoes. Look at the size of that one. So these are good beefsteak tomatoes. They're supposed to be very tasty, and you can see a bunch here. These are my sweet seedless, and you can see they're beginning to turn orange, so they're not far from being ripe. But this has been a very productive plant. And that back there is a big boy. I think this is a Black Prince. I planted it, I didn't know what it was, but based on the tomato size and the texture, it looks like a Black Prince to me. And these are also big boys, and there's tons of tomatoes in here. These are better boys, a little bit smaller of a tomato. These are Park Swampers. And as you can see, they're pretty loaded, so when they start coming in, they're really going to come in. I believe this one is also a better boy. Here's my sweet golden melon, which is a hybrid that I got from Park Seeds. And where's my hand? There it is. See, I got a bunch of them coming in here. On the other side, you can see I've got some pretty large ones. And that one's really big, so it's not far from being ripe. These are mini red bell peppers. Italian trees and Aussies. These are really slow about getting started with producing tomatoes, but they're finally getting them on there. See, there's some here, and these are pretty good sized tomatoes when they come in. The Aussie's already producing. It's got a good sized tomato, but it looks like it's got a little bug bite on it. These are green beans. Those are another type of melon, which I've now forgotten what it is, but I'm training those. Those are not quite as far along. These are mini eggplants. It's got a lot of fruit on it. If you're looking, I'm not sure how well the camera can pick that up, but there's a lot of little teeny fruits in there. I don't know how big they get. That one is Let's see if I can get a good picture of it. That one's pretty large for a mini. Not anywhere near the size of a regular one, but at least they're being productive. And these are my Cubanelles. They're beginning to really set fruit. These are my favorites. These are Jimmy Nardello's. These are probably the best frying peppers you can get. Let me see if I can get in here and get a good view of them. Where's my hand? There we are. They get about 8 to 12 inches long, and they're really flavorful. They're not hot. These are my Goldman's Italian American tomatoes. They're beginning to set fruit. They just have started flowering within the last week. They bushed out a lot. Had a lot of disease that came in, and I had to cut them back and put a soaker hose in there to try to stop that. Another big boy growing in a container. Big boy in a container. And check out the lychee tomato. It is really doing well. It's a big, tall tomato, producing lots of little lychee fruits. And it's just growing in a 7-gallon aeration pot. Seems to be very happy there. These are picking and grinning green beans, which I haven't been very impressed with because they haven't produced. They're supposed to be a high production, but a lot of good foliage, but no production. Oh, there's an Italian American coming in. First one is really set. There's a couple of them over there. And these are Anaheims. I put these out here about 2 weeks ago. And these are the ones that have been out here for quite a while. They had a really slow start, probably because of the bad weather, and then I over-fertilized them a little bit. So they had a slow start, but they're taking off now. There's my other lychee. There's my finishing up garlic. Here's some garlic I took out, and I put some more of those some Anaheim seedlings. They've only been in here 1 day. As you can see, they're kind of yellow because they've been in pots for a long time. Little seedling pots, root bound, and I finally decided to, once I was able to get this garlic, I can replant them. I harvested the garlic from here, and these are Homestead tomatoes. This is for my fall harvest. Another fall harvest plant. These are long keepers. They supposedly ripen after you pick them. Never grown them before, but they're supposed to last 3 to 4 months in the after being picked. So it'll be a good wintertime eating tomato. These are super sauce. Super sauce right here. It's beginning to produce, and sweet seedless right here, just like the other sweet seedless. It is just covered with tomatoes. Most productive tomato I've ever grown. There's the remainder of my romaine lettuce. Been giving a lot of it away. Eating what I can. These are California Wonders. It's got some small peppers on it. Not too far along. I believe this one's also a big boy. These are all different varieties of cayenne peppers. It's a purple cayenne. There's my lettuce bed, which is almost cleared out. I'll put something else in there once I get the rest of these out of here. A fig, blueberry, and a dwarf key lime. These are mini yellow bell peppers. That one's coming along. And these are the indigo rose. Something's been eating on that one, but you see they turn purple. When they really ripen, they get real dark purple. Everything that's exposed to the sun turns purple. These are red roasters. And there's a gypsy pepper. It's got some pretty good peppers on it. And this is just the backside of the other tomato plants. So there is my garden. This is my hydroponic outdoor setup. Just these tomatoes were about to die. They were in little seedling pots, and I decided to try to make a use of them. So I've got a feed water tank. Just a 30-gallon garbage can, unused of course. And it siphons into here. I have a little float valve inside here. And then I have nutrient water all the way down. And they're really growing well. They look a lot better than they did when I stuck them in here. The only mistake I made is I should have used colored hose, dark hose. I may go in and replace it because you can see it's getting algae on it. These are red roasters and good as gold. Back when we had a late frost, one of those got killed, so it didn't survive. So I only have one in that pot, but I have two in this one. Those are, again, those 7-gallon pots. These are gypsies, and they're growing pretty well. These are my Tasty Lees, and look at the blight damage. I've done everything that normally works, and the blight is just destroying these plants. It seems like they have no resistance to blight at all. I've trimmed them back, sprayed them, baking soda. I even bought organic commercial fungicide, and they're still dying. So this may end up being my first tomato ever to die from tomato disease, which is a shame because they were doing pretty well. But I still get some tomatoes from it. These are some more dwarf tomatoes. These are Rosella Purple. I planted these, about a week ago. And they're doing pretty well. Romaine lettuce. I'll put my extras down here. There's my solitary surviving tomatillo. I planted about 6 out here, but the frost killed those. So I only have one. Unless I get another one started, it won't do anything because they need 2 to fruit. I did put some seeds in the ground, but it's kind of late, so I'm not sure how well they'll do. And those are also Tasty Lees, but they're not doing quite as badly as the other ones are. I never stake them up either. Here's something interesting. There's a den for a wolf spider. They do that in my garden a lot. They'll dig a little hole and put their egg sacs down there. Sometimes when you're digging the garden, you'll uncover them and it'll give you quite a shock. But they're pretty harmless. This turmeric, only a few of them survived the winter, which surprised me. Some more garlic that needs to come out of here. Here's my bug-eaten okra. Haven't really protected it, done much out here, but I guess I need to get started. And there's a couple of red carrots that I stuck in there because I had nowhere else to put them.